Hello, welcome to this session of Talking Tech Women and Girls in ICT. My name is Simran Sahni, and today I am delighted to be representing Girl Up, a United Nations Foundation's part. And I am excited to have a discussion about tech and tech careers with Muna Mohammed Shaheen. She has been a computer teacher at the UN Relief and Work Agency for Palestine refugees for over 28 years. She is also a robotics coach, Golden Ambassador for Arab Code Week, and a teacher ambassador for the Kids Coding Competition, Kodaver, in North Jordan. Talking Tech is a series celebrating girls and women in tech being recorded around the world between Girls in ICT Day 2020 and Girls in ICT Day 2022. Girls in ICT Day is an international day marked on the fourth Thursday of each April. In 2021, Girls in ICT Day was held on 22nd April. The objectives of Girls in ICT Day are to help to create a global environment that empowers and encourages girls and young women to consider studies and careers in the growing field of information and communication technologies. The Talking Tech series is brought to you by the ITU, UNICC, and the Office of the UN Secretary General's Envoy on Youth and is in support of Equals, the global partnership of gender equality in the digital age. Girl Up is pleased to be a partner on this session today. The goals of this series include to interest and inspire girls and younger women with information about a range of ICT careers that can be had, bring before a broader audience some of the role model women in tech and share information about their career journeys and work, offer diverse examples of how ICT is being used to support achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals and other UN goals, showcase initiatives that are working with girls to support them in ICT studies or future ICT careers, provide girls and young women in tech with a leadership opportunity to represent and promote a girls in tech organization with which they are involved and promote it to a broader international audience. To kick off the event, I am going to introduce you to Girl Up. Girl Up is a movement to advance girls' skills, rights, and opportunities to be leaders. When girls rise, we all rise. Girl Up guides and champions girls among their journey from leader to change maker with specialized programming on world gender issues and in organizing, advocacy, fundraising, and communications. Girl Up helps girls access their inner power to advance the skills, rights, and opportunities of girls everywhere. Girls and women are underrepresented in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We are bridging the gender gap at Girl Up in these fields by inspiring girl leaders to use STEM skills to create solutions to problems in their communities. That's STEM for social good. These events are open to young leaders across the age of 13 to 22 all around the world. Unfortunately, there are often significant barriers for girls who want to pursue STEM careers or access STEM education. The goal of STEM for social good is to educate and inspire girls everywhere to use STEM skills. From workshops to international STEM campaigns for girls, we are building the next generation of STEMinists and problem solvers, one solution at a time. As you can see, a more gender balanced tech sector is something that I'm passionate about and working towards. So I'm delighted to now shift the conversation to Mona Mohammed Ahmed Shaheen. And Mona, my first question to you is when and how did you get into technology?
It was a long journey. It started from the high school. Actually, my school was a comprehensive school, which really support additional aspects of study beside the basic education. It was my lucky day to study in this school that time because not many know what is computer science. So I choose to study computer science as an secondary education beside my scientific education. Really, I enjoy it. I found it very, very amazing and really a new window to the future. It's a knowledge that I do not know before. A little number of girls study computer science at that time. So I really enjoy studying computer science, knowing what is it, be part of technology at that time. It's 1897, so long time. So I'm so proud of it. I decided to continue my study in university in computer science. Although I have a good and very high marks, which helped me to enter a very good college at that time, like medicine or engineering. A lot of people ask me why you do not study medicine or engineering or other aspects of studying which your society will be proud of you more computer science. No, I tell them I want to study computer science at that time. My family support me really, and they were very proud of me. After that, when I meet someone and ask me, what are you studying? When I'm telling you computer science, oh, you mean you are very clever. So I'm so happy. I'm so proud of what I'm doing. I really pleasure that I choose the right thing from my secondary study until now.
That is amazing.
Yes, amazing for me, and I am so happy. I'm so happy that I do it.
I am so proud to be talking to you right now because I
It's my proud.
I understand that having supportive parents is very important to take up any journey in life. And
Yes. Choose your road, choose what you want, and the supporting of the family is very, very important, especially for the girls in our society. And if you know that the Arabic society have conservations about the girls and what they can study, what they cannot, so supporting the families are so important. I
definitely,
thank God my family support me.
definitely, that is amazing. So, what's your job in tech now? How are you connected to tech?
Now I am a teacher of computer science in Norwa School, which supporting services in education for Palestinian refugees in Jordan. In fact, after graduating from my university, I chose to be a computer science teacher. I have the options to have another career, but really I think that if I want to make a difference, I want to be a teacher. Teacher in computer science at that time was amazing, but really it's so difficult. It's not an easy job. It's not really an easy job. You can make this decision in the past. Why? Because of the poor situations in our schools. You do not know what the meaning of teaching computer science in such our schools, like our school. Do you know what the situations we had or the circumstances we faced at that time? A very big number of girls in the class, a little PCs in the lab. You have to worry about your class. You have to divide time equally between your girls, so everyone should have the same chance to work on computer on PC like the others. It's really a big challenge. And how you make them love computer science with just few PCs, no internet connection at that time. So I made a big challenge. I do my best. I cooperating with the society, with the management. So after a little time, fortunately, we have supported by newer PCs and internet connections, another number of PCs. The lab was biggest. So we can make fun in computer class. I'm very pleased to see that my students, my girls, enjoying my class. This is a big successful to see my student come to computer science lab or with a passion, with love. They are sure they will have a fun time, a good time, a new knowledge. It's a big success for me. This is what I intended to do. I want them to have a fun and good and successful time, to have knowledge, to have new path for the future in technology. I want to show them technology is your future. You can work, you can get a good knowledge, you can do many things by studying computer science. So my colleagues say me, oh Mona, we saw that your students so happy in your class. I'm so happy. I'm so proud. From that time to this time, my journey continue. I have many, many things to do. Like after graduating from my university, I chose to become a computer teacher, which was not an easy decision, as I said before, as I know the challenges and difficulties facing the education profession in our schools, particularly UNRWA schools that provide education services to Palestinian refugees. Being a teacher for refugee students from a difficult social and economic background was a challenge. But I chose it with love and passion to help female students open up new horizons in computer technology and programming, and also a new window for life, a new path to lead them to another future, to a better future they are deserving. The profession of education is difficult but exciting. I want to tell anyone who is saying that teacher is a boring job. No, teaching is an exciting, and every year I saw new faces, new souls, new aspects, new tasks to carry out. What do I want better than? Really, every year, new faces, new souls, new girls, new aspects, new competitions. I want to do with them to achieve many, many things that would really I like to do. So I'm very proud of my student, of what we are doing since many years until now. I have not lost my love for education. The field of technology learning is renewed. Okay, every time, every year, you have a new thing and enjoyable. And there are always new tasks and new horizons. Now I still love my job. Why I still my job? Because since 28 years until now, I still love my job. I still enjoying teaching, which I really proud of. I was keen to update my information. Someone will say, how can you enjoy teaching for all of these years? I was keen to update my information and the skills and to open up new aspects for female students and encourage them to enroll in various software and technology courses and get certification and help them to work with the skills development. Always, every year, I'm encouraging them to know better, to know new aspects, to get involved in competitions, to search about new ideas and how to implement them in programming, how to solve the problems of our society, of the world by programming, by artificial intelligence, by robotics. You should be involved in your world, in your problems, in your society. How can you be a part of this? You should solve these problems. How you concept? I told them programming is your way. Technology is your way. Computer science will help you to have a better life. We should be in a better world, so that we can live in a better world. Proudly, we have been participating, collaborating, and providing our presence in all courses and competitions, and always receiving awards, recognitions, and encouragement. Always, every year.
That's amazing.
Many of the students had a certification in IoT by Cisco. They had made a great effort to study online. Maybe you do not know what's the meaning of studying online in our society. It's so difficult. We have a problem in the internet. Not every home can support their girls or their boys with internet. To make these families supporting their girls, it's take from us a great effort, and we succeeded in it. Also, we're supporting them in the school. We are at school supporting them to have study online, to get certification. IoT was a big success. To have certifications, many of my students have this certification. We are so proud of them. Right now, I can proudly say that there are many students involved in technology through the school, and many also many associations supporting programming projects and technological development, which help them. You know that we have a very big number of my students who have a big idea how we can implement them. So we need to help them. We need to support them. How? In school, in our lab, in our projects. If we could not help them, there is in the society associations, many associations help them, get them a good knowledge and enable them to make their ideas in programming. And we have seen many projects that really, really inspire us and make us very proud of my students. Several projects related to sustainable development and the school twinning have been implemented. I will tell you something. Since 15 years ago, I was a UNESCO coordinator for Jordan and in my school. I was the only one who is the coordinator of UNESCO. And there was a program called LifeLink with Sweden Friendship School. My school was a partner of this project. We have made many, many fantastic, amazing projects for sustainable development. Water for Life, and many other projects. Several projects related to the sustainable development and the school twinning have been implemented with my students, girls, using modern communications technology. And since then, many aspects have been done. Every new year, we have a new participating in scientific and local international competitions in robotic, in programming, and in artificial intelligence. Every year, we have new competitions, we have new aspects to be involved with, we have a new certifications that we have made, courses online we have done, and they are very big success for us. A lot of things I want you to tell about.
Yeah, I do have a few questions for you, but this is truly inspiring. Having someone develop an interest about a particular subject, particularly computer science. I wish I had a teacher like you when I was learning computer science. I would have developed a more, inclination towards computer science. And you open so many doors for so many students. It's just beautiful.
This is my job. This is what I want really to do. This is the success.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The next question for you, Muna, would be what are some of the lessons that you've learned while being as a teacher, while being in the sector of computer science, which is, as we know, it's a very male dominating sector. A lot of male figures are there and less females are there. So, what are some of your learnings when you've been in the sector? What have you learned throughout your journey?
What I learned in my journey is that there is nothing impossible, there is nothing difficult. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You do not need to be in higher position in technology or in education to success. I am a teacher. I know what I'm to do, what should I do, how to deal with my students, my girls. I love them very much. How to lead them and guide them to a better future. I think it's my passion, it's my love, it's my road, it's really what I want to do. Since 28 years, really, we faced many problems. We was many, many problems. I told you before, there is just a little number of pieces, but did I sit down and do, oh no, there is not enough, there is not enough, or not enough pieces for all my students. So I do not need to teach them computer science as well as should be done. No, no. I have a procedure, I do it. I have a LAN, I follow my LAN, and I insist that every girl in the lab should have her opportunity to work on the PC, to know better, to educate, and all of them should have the same opportunity to be in the technology, to go to the future. Many problems. If I can tell you, you know that some families do not allow to their girls to have an email. No, you shouldn't have an email. You shouldn't have a Facebook account. Okay. They believe that technology will open a window, bad window to their girls. They will see something they shouldn't see. They will be in war that they shouldn't be involved with. So what can we do? We made many meetings with parents, many meetings with mothers, with fathers, with sisters, with the brothers, and let them know that they should allow to their girls to have email, to have social media accounts, to learn better. It's necessary. You should see that everything now is involved with technology. You can't just let your girls in the home, away from the world. You can't do it. For thank God, we have made a big success. And now you can see that most of the students, most of our girls have an email. It's a big success. They can communicate with us, especially in the pandemic of Corona. It's a bad situation. We should learn remotely. We should learn online. All of education now is online, which is a big challenge for us now. What can we do? What can we do? How can I support my student from the home? What I really want you to know is that during the Corona pandemic, cooperate with my colleague Samar Nazal, which is my best friend and my colleague. We have made a very good and amazing participation in many competitions, locally, international, and Arabic competition. Like Cote d'Ivoire, we are with the ambassador in Jordan. It's really amazing competition. Do you know that our students have to learn online a new program language? It's amazing. We supporting them, we encourage them. You can do it. Most of the students have many affairs. So what can we do it? How can do it? No, I think you can do it. Just start. And then if everything will be so easy. Which was done and which was happened, and we are so proud of it. They have many ideas about sustainable development, about environment pollutions, about the traffic jam, and how they can solve these problems. Pictoplex is one of the programming language, so easy, so nice. They are involved in it. They want to learn how to solve a problem using it, and they were succeeded. Really, they made a very nice project, competitions strongly, and they have awards. We are so proud of them.
That is amazing. I feel that you've just passed through every challenge with a huge achievement, and that's very inspiring.
Every year, I want to update my knowledge, especially technology and computer science and the programming languages. Every time there is a new thing. If
Definitely.
you want to be a good teacher, you should be renewed. You should update your information. You should be up to date. That's simple, that's easy. You should be up to date. And this is what I'm telling my students. You should be up to date. Then you are good, you will be successful, you will be in the real world. How to be in the real world? You should be up to date. You should be involved in the problem of the world, and you should try to solve it.
Definitely.
It's amazing, really amazing how great ideas from them. They encourage me, empowering me, my students. When I see little girls, little mind, oh no, what is happening? A big idea. With a great effort, they can do it.
Definitely. That's beautiful, Mona. You're just making me want to be a teacher very soon. You're just
I encourage
motivating
you.
me to, you're
You will
encouraging
be
me
a
to
good
become
teacher. You will be a good teacher. And there is a very big competition that I participate with, which is Arab Code Week. It's a very big competition for the Arab world. I support my students to be involved in. I am ambassador for this competition, supervising a hundred of students and teachers, really, how to solve the problems, how to participate in the Arab Code Week. And I'm so proud, I'm so happy that I give them good solutions for many problems facing them. They until now, they've sent to me messages, thank you for supporting. We faced many problems. We find need help from you. Thank you. It makes me proud and encourage me to do more, to be participating in many competitions, and this give me a power, really. and that my choice was a good choice. I'm so proud to be a teacher. I'm so happy. As I told you, every year there is a good, not every year, but sometimes there's a good new things to do, a good career, good achievements. As you know, that the world have many, many, many problems. How we can solve it, how we can be a part of this world, how we can help others. Programming, technology is your way.
Definitely. And I'm so glad that you're encouraging your students to become problem solvers. That
Yes,
is,
they are a problem solver now.
yes,
I'm so proud
definitely.
of that.
Since Mona, this series is about girls and women in technology, do you have any career or tech advice for girls who are in technology or women who are in technology? Do you have any advice for them?
This time, in these bad situations, especially in the corona pandemic and isolations, conservations about women working, I always told them, my students, my colleagues, my neighbors, my friends, you can be successful woman from your home. You can work from your home. Technology is your path, is your window to the world. Look around the world. You can be successful from the point you are in. You do not need to seek for another land. You are from your land, can be a good person, a problem solver. You can have a career, you can have a certification, you can have a job, you can have a money, you can have a future. There is nothing difficult, nothing you cannot do, nothing impossible. I always give them an examples, encourage them. Oh, I'm really happy that a lot number of students, of women's in home, really find their way in technology, find their future for their happy life. You know, if you can find job, you can find money, you can find the future, you can live better life. You can be in this world effectively. This is my advice to every woman, every girl from your land. You can be a leader. You can be whatever you want. Just to be in technology, just to follow your passion, your ambition, you can make difference. Really, you can make a difference.
Amazing. I'm just making notes, Mona, here as a teacher. I always try to make notes, and technology is your window to the world. I think that's beautiful what you just said. It's amazing how it's just that you have to be in technology and you can have a future right from your home. This is beautiful. Amazing.
You do not need to seek far away.
Yeah.
Start it from your home. You can do what you want. You can success.
That's beautiful, Mona. Great. That's all the questions that I had for you. Do you have any other questions for me?
Yes, yes. I want to ask you, what is your passion now? What you really like to do in
Yeah.
technology or in another field?
So, how did I first get into technology? I think that because of the pandemic, because of COVID, I think technology has been my life support. Because of technology, the world has become so closer to me, right? Because at just one click of a button, I can talk to someone who is staying in Palestine, right? Who's staying in Jordan, who is staying in America. Just by one click of a button, the world is just so much closer to me, and I have huge amount of opportunities. And I feel that it's really in my favor that I understand technology and I am driving towards it. So I'm doing biotechnology as a college major, and I got into that because I love science. And it was very difficult initially because biotechnology is a culmination of science and technology, and it was a very male dominating field, so my parents were a little skeptical if I would be able to do that, and everyone around me was skeptical if I would be able to get through, but I did. And I think I'm really proud of, proving that yes, a girl can be in a STEM field and can prove herself that there are opportunities for us and we can make a future out of it. So my love for science has always been there. So Girl Up has a program, STEM for Good, and I attended a STEM boot camp with Girl Up, and that completely changed my perception about how I look at STEM. They had very interactive activities and motivational speakers to guide us through what our future might look like if we continue to pursue STEM. And that is something that was a turning point for me. I think I really took pride into getting into STEM rather than being ashamed of it, right? That it's an all boys thing. I wasn't ashamed of it anymore. And definitely there are challenges for girls and women if they are in STEM. I have seen that myself. But I think we as women, as girls, as females have built a community of strong leaders within us, right? And we just support each other. Like listening to you, it's so inspiring. And we have built a community of people who can support us. So I think that is how I found my passion in STEM, because I completely love the leaders in STEM right now, such as yourself.
Have
And
many
they're
activities about STEM with STEM in our school, robotics, and in Luma Start competition, we participate
that's great.
in project. We called it Fireless Steps for refugees. You know what we do? Every class should implement something in technology.
Definitely.
Every class, and we're gathering a whole project, and it was very, very amazing. And we have award from Jordan that we have a good position.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I work with people with intellectual disability, and their IQ is less than normal. So that's how we term them, as people with intellectual disability. And through this pandemic, it was very hard for us to reach them because they were not as equipped, especially females. Because in India, Mona, it's like that in very rural families, in very underprivileged families. If you have a device at home, the preference to that device, to access that device, would be with a boy more than a girl. The boys will get the access first, and then if there is any time left, then the girls are going to access it. So I saw a lot of females getting no access to technology because their brothers had the same time the school, and there was just one device, and the preference was given to the brothers rather than the sisters of the house, right? I just couldn't, make peace with that. I started taking events, I started taking talk sessions, I started helping them to how to communicate at home. And I think you're very right that the key to this is parents. I think there is a generational gap that we are facing during this pandemic, because everything is virtual right now. We cannot live without it. And our parents, like the generations before us, they are very much stuck to social media means bad, technology means bad. So that is
Yes,
something that
yes,
we
yeah.
need to
That
undo.
that's what we are suffering also.
Definitely. So I worked with a lot of parents, and I'm going to take that project to my classroom as well. I'm really excited to be in Teach for India and going to a classroom and being a teacher. Definitely keeping you as a role model here. Whenever I go to my class, I would definitely try to open doors for my students, to give them access to technology, give them access to opportunities. I think technology and opportunities are very synonymous. When you have access to technology, you have access to opportunities. And
Yes, yes, yes.
in my class, I
That's
would
it.
definitely continue to build that environment which is very technology friendly. And getting to their parents, you have given me so much to think about. I think getting to their parents first is the entry point for us to get students to access technology as well, because if their parents are supportive, they would do anything for their kids to
That,
access it.
that we are facing today. We should confess parents so we can solve the problem with the girls, the females. Most of the females, they do not have the right to have a smartphone.
Definitely, definitely. And I think the message that I have for all the young girls who are right now, I think, trying to make that decision of their passion, I think passion has no gender. I think there is no gender to passion. There is no orientation to passion, right? You feel what you feel. And if your passion lies in technology, so be it. There are going to be challenges, definitely, but there are going to be mentors like Muna, like other important females, other female figures that you will look up to, who will mentor you. And I think it's very safe to say that technology should not be scaring the girls and women. I think it should be very much welcoming the girls and women because of role models that we have in that sector right now.
I think we are facing the same problems. How our society is dealing with technology. We have a bad idea that we have to face. We have a big struggle. We
Hmm,
have a big fight to solve these problems.
definitely.
I think you are strong girls. I think you will do it.
Thank you so much, Mona. Thank you so much. I think the root of it is that if we tackle gender equality, right? If we have gender equality, I think we will have more females in ICT, definitely. It is a gender issue. I feel that there are a lot of males. It is male dominating. It is considered to be okay. Technology, I'll go to my dad more than my mom, right? It's like a notion that if I have something which is very tech savvy, my dad would know. My mom wouldn't probably. But I think we need to change that notion that it's not gendered. Technology is not gendered. And if my dad knows it, my mom should as well.
I really hope that we will win this fight.
Definitely, definitely. If we join hands, and we do, we already have. I feel I'm so much more relieved right now to be in this technology sector because of people like you in it, Muna. I think you are a role model, and a lot of people like you, a lot of females like you, who are powering through it and taking us with them and mentoring us with them. So I think that's
With your
amazing.
passion, you will do it. You will fight. You will win. 28 years, I'm a teacher for computer science in an Honorwa school for refugee students in very poor situations in very conservations about girls and how they study. But every year I try to do my best to solve this problem. That's our road, our path, our passion, our fight, and we will continue.
Definitely, Muna. Right there with you. Definitely. It was a lovely conversation, Muna. I really had a lot of fun. And that wraps up our session
Oh, me
today.
too. Me too. I have a fun with you. It's my pleasure to meet a young girl like you to know that technology is safe with you.
Definitely. Definitely. Amazing. I really enjoyed our chat today. Thank you so much to our viewers to watching this as well. Thank you so much, Muna.